Big news! Tottenham eyeing £50 million loan to buy move for special forward. Welcome back to Tottenham News Today channel. Tottenham are interested in acquiring the services of Southampton sensation Tyler Dibling, but would have to part with £50 million to secure the deal, according to TBR Football. It is evident that Spurs need signings, having only recruited Antonin Kinski this month, while numerous players throughout the squad have been forced to sit on the sidelines through injury over the campaign. It is unsurprising that numerous teams have been reported to hold an interest in signing Dibling, who has been described as special, and Spurs are no different. It is believed, though, that the Saints would demand £50 million for Dibling, given they are in no rush to sell. Were that fee met, it would make Dibling the most expensive teenager in Premier League history. Spurs do not have such money to spend in the winter window, according to TBR Football. As such, it is believed that the North Londoners would look to sign Dibling on an initial loan until the end of the season before paying Southampton that £50 million fee in the coming summer. In a miserable season for Southampton, teenager Tyler Dibling has been one of very few shining lights, perhaps their only one. The winger, who is also comfortable playing as a number 10, has showcased an immense level of talent and even more potential throughout the campaign. Dibling would be a great acquisition for Spurs were they able to get a deal over the line. While it appears unlikely, fans can take comfort in the assumption that the team are looking to bolster their ranks prior to the window closing. Meanwhile, the 18-year-old will cost around £50 million. Spurs will not be able to afford his asking price right now, but they are willing to include an obligation to buy in the summer. It remains to be seen how the situation develops. The young attacker will want to join a competitive club capable of pushing for trophies, and Tottenham certainly have an ambitious project. It remains to be seen whether they can convince the player and his club over the next few days. Nico Williams emerges as shock Tottenham target late in the window. Tottenham are prepared to make a shock move by triggering the release clause of one of Europe's best young wingers as they attempt to get their season back on track. We are edging closer to the transfer deadline, and no signing appears to be imminent at Tottenham at the moment. However, reports continue to indicate that the club are working on some late deals, with Ange Postecoglou said to be pushing for two new additions, a forward and a centre-back. It has now been suggested that the Lily-Whites might pull a rabbit out of the hat by paying the release clause of one of La Liga's most highly rated wingers, but they do face competition from one of their fierce rivals. A report in Fisher-Heath has claimed that Atletico Club Bilbao winger Nico Williams has now emerged as a shock target for Tottenham, who are now ready to make a late swoop for the player. It is explained that Spurs are willing to trigger the winger's £49 million release clause before the transfer deadline, thus raising the possibility that the youngster could pack his bags and embark on a new adventure. Ange Postecoglou reportedly feels that the Spaniard would bring dynamism to his forward line, with Tottenham believing that the athletic club man will aid their efforts to push themselves back up among the elite of the Premier League. However, the outlet explains that Spurs are not the only side eyeing a late move for Williams, with their North London rivals Arsenal also prepared to meet the winger's release clause. It is explained that Mikel Arteta feels that the pacey winger is a perfect fit for the profile of attacker that he wants to add to his squad to aid the Gunners in their quest to catch Liverpool. The two North London clubs are expected to be involved in an intense battle for Williams' signature in the final days of the transfer window. Angel Gomes, who Tottenham have reportedly begun talks with regarding a move to N17, has now broken his silence on his future after entering the final 6 months of his contract. Angel Gomes has had an impressive rise over the last 2 seasons, not only making himself a part of the England setup, but he has also impressed in the opportunities that he has got for the Three Lions. The midfielder's current deal at Lille runs out at the end of the season, and it has been widely reported that he is looking to leave as a free agent in the summer. In fact, just a few days ago, it emerged that Tottenham have begun talks with Gomes regarding a pre-contract agreement, but so had 5 other clubs, including West Ham. Lille are currently in 5th place in Ligue 1, 15 points behind league leaders, Paris Saint-Germain, but they are well placed to qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League. Gomes has now remarked that he is not paying any attention to the speculation over his future. insisting that he is focused on having a strong end to the season at Stade Pierre-Mauroy. When asked about the rumours regarding a switch to the Premier League, the Manchester United Academy graduate said via Fabrizio Romano, "I'm aware of clubs inquiring about my situation, but I'm now completely focused on Lille. I want to finish the season in the best way possible, and then we will see what happens. I'm focused on the present and not on negotiations." If Gomes does leave Lille on a free transfer, he will likely demand a sizable salary, and given Tottenham's strict wage structure, they might not be able to compete with the kind of contracts some of their rivals can offer. The midfielder is likely to be sought after by half the Premier League, and it will be very challenging to convince him to come to N17 if Spurs cannot offer him Champions League football. A lot will depend on whether Tottenham have a promising end to the season, but based on the way the current project is unfolding at the club, a move to North London will not be a particularly attractive prospect for the Lille star. Spurs in race to sign Feyenoord defender. One name that emerged over the last 24 hours is Feyenoord centre-half David Hanko. According to Court Offside, Tottenham have inquired about the availability of the 27-year-old Slovakian. However, Spurs are facing some competition as expected, with their London rivals, Chelsea, keeping an eye on the defender, as well as Italian giants Juventus, who are at the most advanced point in securing the Slovakian's signature so far. Hanko is a very experienced professional, receiving 44 caps for his country and participating at the last 2 European Championships, including playing the full 120 minutes in Slovakia's heartbreaking 2-1 loss to the Three Lions, coming so close to reaching the quarter-finals. Hanko is naturally a central defender by trade, but hasn't looked out of place when filling in at left back in the past. He is quick, strong and very comfortable on the ball under pressure. He also has an eye for goal from set pieces, and has won an astounding 64% of his aerial duels in the Netherlands' top flight so far this campaign. Another thing that is a huge positive for Hanko is his availability. The 27-year-old has missed just 4 Eredivisie games in the last 2.5 seasons for the Rotterdam club, being rested for their last game away at Willem Tilburg and playing every single game last season. This is exactly what Spurs need right now, that reliability and someone you know you can count on to be there every single game. You could have all the talent in the world, if you're not available to play, then what's the point? Feyenoord are reportedly valuing the player at around the £30 million mark, with his contract running until the summer of 2028 at De Kuip. The Dutch side bought him from Czech club AC Sparta Praha in August 2022 for €8.3 million, which is equivalent to nearly £7 million, so they are looking to receive a hefty profit for the defender, and you can really see why. Overall, it would be a very good signing for the North Londoners. A quick, strong and experienced defender that reads the game really well and is rarely ever injured makes all too much sense, which is probably why the club won't sign him. Spurs have played a dangerous game waiting until this late on in the window to really show interest in players. And with clubs knowing this, they could easily corner them, demanding huge fees, especially if they do not need to sell the player that owner Daniel Levy will undoubtedly not want to cough up. That's it for today's update. If you like the video and want to keep up with everything Tottenham, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for our latest content. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and share it with other Spurs fans. Let's build our Tottenham News Today community together. Thanks for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs.